I think so. Got it.
Right. Here we are with the fabulous Shelley Wakeham. Now, before we dive into all the juicy questions, we're going to start with some quick fire questions to set the scene, to get people to know you a little bit more in case they don't know you. So some quick fire questions are, tell us what your name is and how old you are and whereabouts in the world you live.
Okay, I'm now 45. I live in the hills of Perth, Western Australia. Currently on the Gold Coast until tomorrow. Hubby's doing a Conference. I've been married to my husband for 17 years. I've got 3 kids, 16, 14 and 10. Yeah, I have to think about it. What else? I wrote all these things down.
What did you do before?
I've been doing Primal.
What? Sorry.
Yeah.
What did you do before?
No, you're right.
Alternative?
I was working accounts admin up until about April before I signed up. And I was in a really bad way with health. My back was completely almost at a point where it was very broken. And just before that, I was starting up doing cakes and treats, and I went in and took all these things in, and the guys at the office there said, you need to be doing this. So that's how I came about to start Raw and Delish. So I'd already got on touch with my counsel and everything like that, but there was so much red tape. So I just went, you know what, I'll just give it a break for 6 months and work out how I'm going to go about this, because yes, you do need commercial kitchen, you need thermostats, you need all the, because it's a raw treat, it's all to do with temperature control. So it was all about storage and everything like that. So I just thought I'll just have 6 months, think about how I'm going to do all this. And then I flew to Melbourne pretty much 2 days after I'd quit my job. So I up and quit my job and went, okay, let's go about the raw cake business. And then I was flying over to see my folks and came back and completely did my back. And in the time for my recovery I was not thinking about a lot of things, trying to work out how I was going to do the raw cakes, when you were at the Good Food and Wine Festival and your little video popped up, and I looked at it and I went, oh, that sounds all right. So one of the questions you asked was, what got me into, why would I want to do with Primal Alternative? And I actually went with my gut. So I saw the video, I looked into it about 30 seconds of it, and I went, yeah, this is pretty good. And my mum was staying with me at the time, look after me, and I showed her and I said, what do you think? And she goes, yeah. And then I looked 5 minutes of the video and I went, yeah, I'm in. So, and that's when I emailed you, and I just had to get hubby to approve it. I didn't even try the products. I hadn't done anything. I just went, yep, I'm going with this. There's something about this. Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. So it was more what I was looking for when you asked one of the questions, what was I looking for? I was looking for part-time, and it was also around what the kids need to be there for the kids, being at home. Hubby worked full-time, long hours. So I was the number one kind of go-to person to be there. And so, yeah, so he doesn't have to worry about all that sort of stuff. So Primal Alternative kind of fit, and the direction I was going as well, it kind of moulded all together. So I kind of went, full steam ahead into it, let's go. And it kind of happened that way.
And I remember that, because it was before I had an office. Like, it was like I just worked from the kitchen table, and because we live regionally and my phone signal's crap, I used to take phone calls outside. I used to just do laps around the house. Do you remember that lap of the house? I used to do laps around the house talking. And I just remember being on the phone to you, and you were just like, yeah, no, I'm in. I want to just pay this much a month. Like, it was just about like, how can I pay this? And it was like the quickest sign up in history, and it was fun. And then I think like a few days later after you signed up, you were like one of the first Primalistas ever, like 6.5 years ago, however long it is now. I'm not good with the dates exactly, but I think it is 6.5 years, right?
5.5.
5.5.
You had a mistake.
I always go ahead one. I'm like, damn it. But a long time.
Sorry.
5.5 years. And then I was coming up to Perth to meet Chicken to go to the Pete Evans movie. Yeah. And you went with Mark, and we were meeting each other for the first time. Do you remember we were both like, Oh, what if you don't like me? What if you don't like me? It was so funny.
It was, yes, it's a bit like when you start meeting stockists and everything like that, because we'll get to those questions. But it's such an overwhelming experience because, well, you're meeting someone that you want to live up to in a sense. Like even meeting Pete Evans for the first time, I felt so bad for him that night because he looked so knackered and very drained, and everyone wanted a photo. But it's like that. It's like anything, meeting someone who um it's hard to explain, but you put it right on the knot. Yeah. See, I'm like all nervous now.
Oh, no, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. So I'm going to dive straight into the questions from the Primalistas because they're brilliant questions, and there's some that I've sent to you, and there's some others that I've just found in the Facebook group. So this is from Primalista Christy, new Primalista Christy, and she says, "You're amazing, Shelley, a wonderful inspiration." Or my questions are: how were your initial few months as a Primalista?
I was really fortunate to be handed stockers straight up. So as soon as I had done my bake with chicken, so I went and stayed with chicken after I'd signed up, and she kind of showed me the ropes. And off I went, and we sat down and we did all the how much you need to order, just a guideline. And before I knew it, Nicola had finished up, and I took 2 of her stockists, and I hadn't even ordered anything, and it was like, and then I got an order from one of the stockists, and I was like, okay, here we go, and that was it. So the first few months was a blur. It just all happened, and when I started, I remember I'm like, bring it at me, I'll take it all on, I don't care, and that's how it went. So I technically didn't have to do anything when you think about it, because it just all came at me. And so stockists were coming in before I knew it. Like in the time that I signed up, I'd already spoken to the markets and asked queries and things like that, and I was signed up by September. So from the time of signing up with Primal Alternative, 3-4 months later, I was already at a market. So, and then it went from there. So it was just go, go, go. And then stockers came along the way, and customers, and it kind of grew. So I never really had a chance to stop and think about anything. It just kept going. And I just go with the flow. So eventually caught my breath.
It's so cool. Did you approach heaps of stockists when you first started, or did they just come to you?
They came to me. So that was the thing. Like silly enough, I know, I had the attitude of, I'm not going out there, and the product sells itself. So I didn't have to go anywhere. It all came to me. It naturally came to me. So the stockists, Paddock and Farm, that put their hand up going, well, we want to get Primal Alternative. And I'm like, yeah. And all the events that happened. So I kind of got myself out that way. Then saying yes to whatever opportunity came out. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. It got really full on, but it was an adventure. It was a ride. Like I said, it was a blur. So 2.5 years of like craziness. And then when the no nut hemp brick came in, it was even crazier. So I just didn't catch my breath. I did approach the odd 1 or 2 stockers, and like everyone else that's approached the stockist, yes, your first one is the most nerve-wracking. It's like even starting in a market. You're so nervous. You're worried that you are going to be able to talk to the customers correctly. You're worried that the customers are not going to come to your stall. But if you're so different and it's out there, and which we are, people are now looking to health. People are looking at other alternatives to, I'm meeting so many people at markets still that ask, oh, have you got this? I've got a friend who's got these sort of allergies or intolerances. And I try and get them to come, but it's like, here, take some samples, take them back to your friend, take a card, and they can look it up. So it's, it kind of flowed. So I was fortunate really for it all to come to me. I mean, I even, when I did approach my first stockist, I think it was the herdsman, and that was way out of my travel, which was fine. When I started, there was only 3 of us in WA, so there was Chicken, Rosie, and myself. And so when we did start, we had all of Perth pretty much to just kind of go, all right, where are we going to look? And when you get people telling you, oh, you've got to go here, you've got to go here, you make lists of all these places and you go, all right, I'll speak to them. I recommend going see them face to face, even if you leave a business card, and then follow it up and go back and make arrangements to make a meeting. Meet and greet is always number one, I reckon.
Yeah, totally agree. So how many days a week did you work that became your magic number for balance with your business and your home life?
Okay, when I started and when I did the meeting with H, as the questions are asked, what's your ideal? I remember saying 3 days. And in my mind thinking that's 3 days bake. Technically, that's 5 to 6 days work day. If you take everything that's involved, yes, you do your 3 days, but then you got your prep day and then your delivery day. There's your 3 days. So I didn't take that into account, and Neroli's asked a question about that sort of thing. In the end, like in the last 6 to 12 months, like last year, I finally ended up doing my 3 days bake until I got to a stage where it was fortnightly, which has worked. So it was trying to get all the stockists to bake around the time I had markets. So it was a bit more consistent, and then try and tell the stockists that I'm delivering on a weekend, or I can deliver after I've done my market bake, which it has worked. And some of the stockists are really quite forgiving for that. They're actually really understanding. Some are not, where they're just like, no, we need it now. And it's, yeah, I know. So it's a hard, fine line trying to please them and not upset them, but be kind of accommodating as well.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm just one of the people that goes, yeah, I'll do it, it'll be fine.
So what advice would you give to upcoming primalistas who are just beginning?
Okay. Advice. What did I write?
You know, it's out, Shell.
I wrote all this down too. Okay. Advice. All right. When you come, check with your council on what's needed. So in your shire, find out what's required for setup for your kitchen. If you find a really good EHO, talk to them all the time. Especially if you haven't got approval, ask the questions. Okay, this is what I'm going to be looking at doing. What's involved? What's needed? If you're going to have an inspection, ask questions. I recommend communication is huge key. Talk to people in places that you shop. So if you're going to health shops or gyms or cafes, ask questions. You know, actually people are really like open to new products. So I found even with markets, people coming going, oh, I work at this cafe, would you interested in coming to see me? So it's surprising how many people you come across that can't get products in certain shops. And then that's when they say, oh yeah, we want this in the shop because I'll buy it. It's my local. And then unfortunately we have to say to them, can you mention that to the store? And then they look into it. But by the time you guys get set up or you're getting set up, go into the shops, talk to them and say, hey, I'm going to be starting a business. Here's the website, look into it. And when I'm up and running, I'll come and see you. So, yeah, communication, talk to people, find out in the area if you get a good feel for the product, would be really good in a shop, cafe, by all means. You know, it opens a door of, opportunities out there. So I've just found walking around, even going into shopping centres, places that you always go to, people you talk to, like school, your mum's at school and things like that. Talk to people and you would be surprised how far you get that word out, because it just surprises me, even though we're still very niche. There's a lot of people still haven't heard of us, which is really surprising. I actually thought that the word does get out, but then I'm still coming across so many people that haven't heard of us.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, isn't it? And I really love what you said about that kind of like building that buzz before sort of start before you're ready, you know, like talking to people about your business, going into shops and saying, hey, I can't sell you anything yet, but here's the Primal, you don't even have to have your own website. Here's the Primal Alternative website. Here's the products. Are you interested in giving it a go when I am ready to start selling? Right.
Yeah. Look, I've come across even people like naturopaths. So very, very like off topic, very small world. One of the naturopaths that did buy from me, she actually suggested the product to this client of hers. The client got in touch with me and I actually knew her. So I rocked up to the door, dropping off the delivery, and her husband opens the door and I just about fell over because he worked with my husband.
Oh, good old country.
But it's blown my mind actually how many people I have met that spread the word. So like I said, the product sells itself, and it spreads the word. You saw that photo of me with all those people from Singapore.
Yes, I know, that's one of my favorite pictures. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I know. So it makes me feel so good that you can have that impact on someone.
Yeah, love it.
So that was the reason why I started as well, because it was about making change and making someone happy. So, you know, like it's such a struggle to find food that you can eat, because even now when I walk around, I have to be really careful what I buy. Hubby's now got really bad medical. His Crohn's is really flared up, so he has to eliminate everything. So it's really hard. So when you do make something for somebody that they can find and eat and love it, it's just another level.
Yeah, absolutely. So a question now from Geordie. She says, what would your least amount of produce be that you would take to a market day? And how would your week go leading up to the market day?
Okay. Markets, as you'll find, are all unpredictable. So your first one, hands down, would be the best. Because people are all excited something's new. Oh my gosh. And a lot of the girls that started markets will feel the same. It does drizzle down a little bit, but there's consistency. So even though each week is different. So yeah, depending on the season, colder weather, I sell a lot more fructose and turmeric. And then coming a bit warmer weather, it comes into the other breads. So least amount of produce. One of my markets, I was taking about 15 loaves of bread. So compared to my 40, 50 loaves of bread, which is one of my normal markets, yeah, my other market, I was making about 20. So, sorry.
I know.
You obviously know what's going on. Yeah. Oh, okay, he's going to come and say hello, everyone.
Here he is, the famous husband. Oh, he's not come back. It went on me.
You want to come back quickly? You got 5 minutes to say hello and have a chat. In his bright red shirt. Oh. I should show you the other ones that we went on.
Oh, my shirt's fine.
Not the Hawaiian shirt.
Hey, Mark. How you going? You look good.
Yeah, fantastic. Now finished. I'm done. We're all finished over here. So.
Oh, nice.
I've only got a garden party tonight, I think it's called.
Yeah, night market stalls and stuff, but it's only food stalls. It's not a market.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of a bit disappointed about, but that's okay.
A bit disappointed. So what franchise are you in? I'm trying to read it on your fob there.
Snap-on Tools.
Ah, cool.
So Snap-on is American brand tools. They only have about 200 franchisees as well. So he's bought into a franchise, but it's across the world. And there's how many in Australia and WA?
About 26 or something in WA.
Pretty good.
So they're all doing different areas. So he does like a section of Cuda, which is an area in Perth, and then there's like 3 other guys like in sections. So with them, they're designated areas, whereas us, we're kind of like open to everybody because
probably
it's kind
of territory.
Yeah, they can't even cross-reference any, like they can't cross into the other boundaries.
So we're not allowed to cross boundaries. If people work in other areas, we're not allowed to service them. It's very strict on how we do the boundaries. And but in total, we all get along really well. It's like a small family over here.
Like we are.
This is the so today, this weekend we've been away. There's 239 of us here as franchisees and families. And yeah, it's huge.
Have you got all your kids over there with you as well? No, good.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
For the short term notice to come to this one to bring the family was a bit high, but for us to come, it's been good.
That's about a third of it.
Yeah.
We haven't killed each other yet, so it's good.
Yeah, it's so good of you to support your lovely husband, Shelley. You're a good wife. Mark, thank you, and all the best with your new business. We'll let you go. You're finished now. You don't need to be sitting here and being interviewed, do you?
Oh, good.
I guess you can.
Thanks, Al.
All right, see you, Mark. All right, on to the next question. Let's finish answering this one from Jodie. So tell us about, because this is a really good one, tell us about how your week goes leading up to market day.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's about always organised, always prepared, and always check your stock. So my week leading up to the market, I would start about Tuesday. I would make sure I'll have all the ingredients, and I've got an agreement with one of the Cookoulas, so our ingredients company here in Perth. They deliver to me on Friday direct. So I make sure that I have my order into them by a certain time so I can get it. And then if it arrives and I'm missing an ingredient, I have to run out on the Friday. So I put my order in usually Wednesday, Thursday. And then, usually Wednesday, Thursday, I run around and get fresh ingredients and make sure I've got enough eggs, even to get me through to follow next week in case I have a order that comes through on the odd occasion. Thursday, I do all my little containers for my market of how much I'm going to bake. And then if the market's on Sunday, I would pre-make all the turmeric and the fruit toast that night, have it ready to go, wake up Saturday morning, straight in the oven, and then I would bake all day Saturday. And then package and you know what, and then load the car, and then Sunday's market day. So it would probably be about 3 to 4 days overall when you're planning a market. I mean, you can do a lot quicker. If you're organised, you can have it done in 3 days. But if, things don't always go to plan, and you know whether it's a family event or something's happened or, emergency in the family, someone's got sick or whatnot, it throws your day out. And especially if you get ingredients and something's missing, that really throws you out.
That's a nightmare. But you were doing big markets too. You said 40 to 50 breads. What sort of numbers of other stuff would you take with you?
Okay, so I was doing all the range except for the pastry. So I would take pretty much 80% fresh, and I'd always have backup of frozen. So I would take frozen. If I had a load of cookies left over that I froze, I wouldn't even make fresh cookies. I would just take all the frozen stuff, and hit and miss. Sometimes I don't even sell. So it comes home, it's back in the freezer because it's still cold, and then I take it again. Or I have customers actually reach out through me through the week. If they've missed the market, they I've got one customer who actually loves the cookies. So I think my last order was about 6 packs of cookies from him. So it's having my customers have been really good because they've kind of especially way of the times those now, people are actually buying a lot more frozen because it's just such a tight budget for everybody. But I suppose I've been a really nice supplier to everybody too.
Absolutely. Definitely. That would definitely have something to do with it. So now moving on to a question from Manda. She said, how did you manage the whole biz over the years as it grew? And was there anything admin-wise that you discovered later on that you'd wish you'd done from the start? That's a cracker question.
Ah, yes. Where did I write that down? Don't mind me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'll start again. H, what was the question?
How did you manage the whole business over the years as it grew? That's one question. Start there.
Okay, yeah. I kind of just went with it. So as the business grew, it was such a blur that I just bought for what I needed. And as it grew, obviously, I had to grow. So I had to, I ended up buying a second bowl, but then it grew even more. So I brought a second machine and I brought another machine. I had 3 machines and I had 6 bowls at one stage. And then, look, when it did get to that point, like before COVID hit, I was at my biggest capacity. So we had the no nut hemp bread. I was making about 140 loaves in one bake. So I got, and slicing. So I was that nice Primalista to go, all the stockists wanted it. It got to that point, all the stockists wanted it as well. And after about 2 lots of baking at 140 loaves, I kind of went, I can't do this anymore. I was almost at breaking point. I was still up till about 3 o'clock in the morning, still bringing stuff out of the oven. This is how mad it was. And then having to get up and do school run. I didn't know what day it was. I'm like racing my kids into assembly and I had to go home and slice all the bread. So it was a really long day, and that's where I went, I can't do this anymore. And I went and got a bread slicer, and that cut all my time down by about 2 hours. So I kind of just went with the flow. I've always been go with the flow sort of thing, because you don't know what's going to happen. So if you overthink everything, sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you don't. But you just never know. So I kind of yeah. I don't know.
What's his name?
Sorry, he's on the phone now. Oh my gosh, I'll tell him to go out of the room. So hopefully his conversation is not going to come over this.
No, we can definitely still hear you. That's okay. No, so actually, before Mark came in with his lovely bright shirt on, we were talking about the number of things that you take to the markets, and like you were saying, like big numbers of breads. Like you bake like mega amounts more than what I ever did. So tell us again. So like for a normal sort of market, you were taking 40 to 50 breads, and you said you did all the range apart from the pastry. Just give us some quick sort of fine numbers on the other stuff that you made. What sort of numbers?
Okay. All right. My biggest seller was fruit toast and turmeric. Biggest seller at all times. We can go as extravagant and have one of my biggest markets. I think I took about 20 of each at one stage. This is when we had the garden festival. So yes, it's a huge market where you got thousands of people coming through. And I'm coming home with probably about 6 loaves of bread overall. So there was 20 of them each. I think I took about 10 each of the other breads, and about 6 of the no nut hemp bread. I took 4 packets each of the pizzas, 2 batches each of the cookies, and I do 4 packets of each of the packet mixes, including the granolas. I stopped doing jellies because over in WA, as you know, humidity, you have them out on your counter for about 20 minutes and they're just destroyed. So I was constantly rotating them, and then it got to a point no one was buying them. So I kind of, I stopped making them. So, and I found pastry was by order. Every now and then, I think I've had 3 people at a market ask. So I just said, look, I'll make it to order. You just let me know, and I can arrange it and drop it off. Perfect. But normal market now, my last market, I take about 6 to 8 loaves of the fruit toast and turmeric. And it depends on season as well. So as it gets warmer, the fat and seedy or the low carb and the pumpkin and zucchini, about 6 loaves of them each, which I still do now. So my last market, I did 6 of everything. I did 2 batches of each of the cookies and pretty much sold all them on my last market, and I was like, damn it, because I kind of wanted them for my last market. But so leading up to next week's market, I'll have to do cookies and a little bit of stock up. But I'm also cutting right back, so I'm using up what I have. what just recently happened, I offloaded a lot of ingredients to Shuri and for her order for one of the stockists. And I went to give her some hemp seeds, and the whole thing had just been destroyed with weevils.
Oh, bugger.
So it's, yeah, one of the unfortunate things that you have when you're in the ingredients industry.
That's it. No preservatives. Yeah, not good. All right, so we got you. You basically, you went with this business model. You were, it was like gut led, and then you've grown your business intuitively. Things are, you've gone with the flow. Things have come to you. You've just kind of evolved how it's gone. So that's good, and I think it's a really good message to be like, don't overthink it. Just get out there, just do it. Just say yes to everything, and then find your groove from there. But in terms of admin stuff, did you discover anything admin wise? Any little tricks and tips that you want to share with the Primalistas?
Oh gosh. As in like computer packages, or I never did online. So some of the girls do online stuff. Some of the girls have been amazing with it. But I found every time I tried to put something up, especially doing markets, posting like that, I had customers waiting. So, and it took me too long to even put a post up because you're taking pictures and you're typing this stuff. And I went, you know what? I'm not doing it. And I've never been, like, I'm not on social media a lot. I think that's why you never see me on any of the posts. And it got, I think I was more focused on business. So it depends on the person. If you can promote your business through social media, then yeah, go for it. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't my forte. And yeah, I'm more of a people person.
Yeah. And like it's exactly the same thing that Rosie says. Rosie used to spend, like, do you remember that phase she went through of doing those epic Instagram posts and pictures, and it would take her a long time to set it up. And then she said, oh, actually, I get a lot more of my business just directly through people texting me or messaging me or at my markets. Like, there's no need to do a lot of stuff on. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm just going to ask the next question because something's happened to my cat and Millie's really upset. So I'm just going to quickly go and do that. Can you answer the next question? Have you got your notes there?
I was going to say, we'll quickly wrap it up and then you can get going, obviously. See, these things kind of happen.
I'm going to quickly see this. It's good though, but you keep going with your notes. Back in a minute.
All right, I'll keep talking. It's recording anyway. Okay, some of the questions that you girls asked. All right, let me keep going. One of the questions was best ways of selling. I found markets, hands down markets. You are meeting so many people offering suggestions, cafes, and then you're getting personal orders direct from people. And once you get personal orders from your market, from your customers, they'll contact you direct. And then they'll reach out to you. Are you at the market? I have a customer at my market that I eventually got her phone number, and she would just I would just text her on a Saturday going, I'm at the market tomorrow. If you need anything, I'm going to be there. And then I already know what she orders every time she was there. And yep, they rock up and I have their bread available for them. Okay. Yeah, market's definitely different way. You meet so many people of all walks of life, and they've got so many stories. You resonate with everybody, so it's quite surprising how many people have different things wrong with them, health conditions. They will also ask what product is best for what condition. I suggest learn about the products, learn about ingredients, people with FODMAP, people with SIBO, intolerances, allergies, you name it. Find out as much information as you can. I'm still learning, so it's a learning curve, it's a learning experience. So then you've got to think about some of the customers actually are really good to give you information about certain things. I come across so many people who do different FODMAP, and learning about the fat and seedy being FODMAP, but then you have customers who say, no, I can't have it, but there's also other people who have different levels of FODMAP. So that's something I never knew when I first started, especially about some of the ingredients like the no not having garlic in it, and people are like, oh yeah, no. So I've learnt over the times from people's guidelines and restrictions, but like I said, I'm still learning. So yeah, talk to your customers. You somehow connect with them in some sort of way, and a lot of them will ask. So I reckon just research. Talk to your customers. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, hi, how you going? How's your day going? What are you up to? Make them feel welcome. Make them feel part of a family. I feel like all my customers are family. You know, it's like when you go to markets are like a family community, and we're all there to support everybody. Everyone's welcome to have you there, and it's how you should make you feel like your customers are. They're like your family. You know, you need to make them feel important, because you're important to them. Okay, another question. Best things are getting started, and things I wish I'd known from the beginning. What else? Oh, that was asked. Okay. Ooh. Okay, Kirsty asked us questions. Top tips for managing family and PA. There's never a right or wrong answer to this. You'll need to work out what's best. You need the support from your family. So when I started, hubby was working, so at home, like he was at home, so he was available. My youngest was 5, so he could actually be at school and I could do Primal Alternative. When I started taking on markets, hubby could be home with the kids. My kids are older now, so we can kind of not have to be there permanently. But yeah, it is really hard. It's yeah, like I said, there's never right or wrong.
Yeah, but that's gone super fast.
Look, I have to admit, I've missed a lot doing Primal Alternative. Yes, I said yes to everything. Yeah, I put it out there. I put myself out there and built a business to what I could do. I am rambling here, so you're going to have to catch up, H. So I'm answering a question that Rolly put out. Tips for managing family and Primal Alternative. So, like I was just saying, you need support of your family. There is never a right or wrong answer for this. Nothing ever goes perfect. Definitely support from family. So I was fortunate for my kids being 5. My youngest was 5 when I started. So he was in school, so I could do Primal Alternative around that. But as I was saying, and when you go back through the recording, I missed a lot. So I've missed assemblies, I've missed sports days. I've also made sports days. But I kind of tried to make my bake days around things that events weren't on. And even like my son having a tutor lesson, and it used to be once a week on the same day, so I could work around my bake. She kept changing the dates to fit her, and eventually I had to stop the tutor lessons because it clashed with my bake days, and my stockists required the deliveries on a certain day. So it did make it very difficult. So yeah, like I said, support a family. I was just really fortunate that Mark was available on weekends when I had markets. So it kind of, yeah, it helps. There are days where it doesn't work.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find sorry, I think my cat's having some kind of end of life experience. So I think let's have to wrap it up. There were some really awesome questions that I'm really sorry we didn't get to, and I'm really sorry for everybody watching this, but I'm going to have to go to crisis. There's so much I want to say,
it's all right.
But I'm going to have to wrap it up, and I'll talk to you all in the group. Thank you, Shelley.
No, that's all right. If you need to do it again. We'll sort something out. We'll do another catch up. It's all right. Good luck, and I'll talk to you later.
Bye.